pretty good. Let's see. That's all right. All right, this thing should be working by now. Nobody's here yet, of course. Okay, so today I don't have any like big thing I wanted to talk about. Usually I have some kind of idea of what I want to talk about. So I'm just going to talk about some things, some kind of small things that have been going on lately. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, B? Okay, so lately I've been working on this second floor. Oh, you can see some garbage bags full of styrofoam. That's for some styrocrete that's up on the second floor. But the second floor goes most of the way around the house now. This section isn't done and a few there. All the floorboards aren't in yet or anything. You know, I still have to work on that. But anyway, what I've been doing a lot is taking a chainsaw out to the jungle and cutting wood. And it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work mentally and physically, you know, carrying this chainsaw, and then I got to move the boards around, doing all this like mentally and physically challenging stuff, right? And then to get the wood here, I got to drive my boat over there, and if luckily it's high tide, I can get the boat like right up to the land, and that means I only have about a quarter mile between the boat and the wood. And if it's not high tide, well, I got to park a little further out, like 100 meters further out, because I don't want to weigh down the boat and have it get stuck, right? So then I have to carry the stuff like 500 meters. So anyway, I'm carrying all these heavy boards, and some of them are like 200 pounds or so, and I'm putting them on my back and just like marching along for a quarter mile through the jungle. And you know, on this path that goes up and down, there's hills to go up and there's stuff to step over, and you know, I got to duck under a branch once in a while. It is really strenuous, right? So I've been doing just like kind of a ridiculous amount of exercise lately. And, you know, ever since I was 30 years old, people started saying, it's all downhill from here. It's all, you know, but by the time you hit 30, you got nothing but downhill. So it's good that you're in good shape now, because, you know, you're just going to start collapsing and falling apart after this. And people have been telling me that ever since I was 30. 35. It's all downhill from here. Oh, you're 40? It's all downhill from here. 45. Okay, I'm 48 right now. I'm almost 50, right? People have been telling me for the last 20 years that it's all downhill from here. But for the last 3 or 4 weeks, like about the last month, I've been doing just like ridiculous amounts of like manual labor and like tons of exercise. I still do my morning exercises, and I always make sure I do stretches in the evening, because I know that if you don't do stretches in the evening, you know, you wake up and you're all tight the next day. But if you do some good stretches every evening, you know, you can keep going and going and going. Anyway, I gotta say, I feel freaking amazing. It's like the more hard work I do, the better I feel. Look, check out these muscles, man. Oh yeah, it's just from like doing stuff. I feel incredible. Like if you ask me how I feel now compared to how I felt like 2 months ago, I wasn't in bad shape or anything. I was in pretty good shape, but I just wasn't doing this ridiculous amount of stuff, right? Like the kind of stuff that people tell you can't do when you get older. You know, people have been telling me ever since I moved off grid. I actually did that when I was about 30. I think I was like 29 or something. They're like, when you move off grid, there's a lot of manual labor and a lot of stuff you got to do. When you start getting older, you can't do that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to, you know, hire people and get tractors and blah, 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 like getting machines. And, you know, just you got to make it so you can relax in your old age. But man, I have not been finding that at all. Now, maybe I'm just a weird, unusual specimen, but I don't think that's what it is. I think I'm just kind of a normal person. And everyone has this same characteristic, where if you actually keep doing things, like keep doing strenuous things with your body, it doesn't start, you know, getting all old on you. And I'm not talking about the hair. You know, I got the old guy hair and the gray beard, and, you know, got some wrinkles in there and stuff. But I'm not talking about that stuff. It's just the superficial stuff. I'm talking about like the heart and the lungs and the muscles and the bones and the stuff that does the stuff. I think what happens a lot of time, and partly like I've experienced this, you know, as we get older, we just stop doing stuff. And partly it's because, you know, you just want to relax after you do your 9 to 5 job, or you go to school for a whole bunch of years and get used to sitting there and doing what you're told and not moving around a lot, not doing all this physical stuff, and then you just kind of get used to it, kind of give in. And people will do sports when they're younger, but as they get older, it's like, oh, I'm not really getting anything out of this. You get a little injury, and it's like, well, the injury's not really worth it because whatever. And then people say, you just gotta relax, and then you won't have to deal with this kind of injury stuff. And then there's just so many reasons and so many bits of peer pressure and all kinds of pressure. Just do less. Just do less and less and less. As you get older, do less. But man, presuming I'm pretty much like everyone else, do more, baby. The more you do, the better you feel. And man, I've had situations where, one time I got a pretty bad injury when I was about 25-ish. And I couldn't run for 7 months. That's probably the worst I've ever felt in my life, when I was like that year when I couldn't run, and I wouldn't even say I got in terrible shape. I was still doing push-ups and upper body stuff, but I had a leg injury. Both my legs were not like I was crippled, but I couldn't run. So I just couldn't be as active as I wanted to be, and then it took a lot of effort to get back into it. And that was the oldest I've felt in my whole life. Other than that, I've always been active and always done a lot of stuff. And right now, like if you asked me 2 months ago if I could handle all the work I'm doing right now, like all this carrying of wood and cutting with the chainsaw and like moving all this heavy stuff, I would have been like, man, I don't know if I can do it. And I was even thinking maybe I should hire people. I came pretty close to just buying all the wood and having it delivered. Man, am I ever glad I didn't do that stupid idea. And man, I just feel super physically good having done all this difficult manual labor. And I have a whole bunch left. I've carried maybe a quarter of the wood that I've cut in the jungle out of the jungle to here. I still have tons more to carry. And that's the hardest part of the job, is carrying it out of there. But man, it feels amazing doing all this stuff. And what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? So maybe I did have some stuff I wanted to talk about, even though I said I didn't. Okay, another thing that has been, this is another thing that's been kind of amazing, actually. And this is something I was aware of, but man, it's like, sometimes you think about something and you're like, that's a good idea. That's going to be pretty cool. But then you actually do it and it's like, whoa, I didn't even realize how amazing this would be. I mean, I understood kind of in a logical, rational way, but now that I'm actually doing it, I'm getting all the feel goods, like all the irrational, I'm getting all the emotions of goodness. And that is like doing stuff without money, So right now I'm taking all these boards that I cut out of the jungle with a chainsaw. When I cut them in the jungle, I mostly just cut them into strips. Well, I'd cut the whole log right down the middle so it wouldn't, because they always crack down the middle. But anyway, once I get it into the halves, I just cut them into strips. So, like boards of like varying widths, and get them over here. And then I've been taking them up to my lumber mill, up behind my house, and cutting them. And it is so awesome to take a board up to the lumber mill, turn the stupid thing on, know that I'm not using any fuel. There's nothing, there's no money coming after me. There's no bills to pay for it. It's like, it's got the solar panels up there and the motor and the lumber mill, and I just turn it on and it freaking works. It just works. And I can use that thing all day, and I haven't used any fuel. Obviously at some point there's going to be some kind of, maintenance, wear and tear, whatever. But like, it's so cool to not be relying on money constantly for everything, and to be able to do something big that would cost a lot of money to, cut all this wood. I calculated to build my second floor, the minimum I would need to spend was like $1,500. And that was like not really the strength of floor that I would want in this house. And that was just the second floor. Forget the third floor. Mm-hmm. To build the floor that I'm actually building, it would be like $3,000 or $4,000 that I don't have to spend. Instead, I just do it. And it's like, just being self-sufficient in that way. It's such a cool feeling. And the same thing, with all my vehicles, all my boats and stuff. Whenever I want to get in a boat and drive, I just get in and drive. I don't have to worry about gasoline or, where I'm gonna fuel up or whatever. No, it's just it's always charged. If it's been parked in the sun, it's charged. It's ready to go. And it's funny that so many people talk about how like solar power isn't viable, it's just not good enough. Man, I don't know how these people are using it, but it is awesome. So maybe I guess the big problem people often have with solar power or that kind of thing is that they don't get the power like at any moment they want it, at any moment, But as long as you can get over that just I want it now instantly. If you can stop being a baby like that and work with the world, I mean, solar power is amazing. So what I do when I'm cutting boards on the lumber mill, I have all the boards in my house. Now I could take them all up there and then just cut them all at once, right? And that would mean I'd have to have the saw running constantly. Or I can just think, well, I've got a solar powered lumber mill, and now I've got batteries on it, by the way. I put batteries on it. I don't know if I put that in the video yet. But anyway, I've got batteries on the lumber mill, right? So what I do is I just take one board up and I cut that. And then I come back down, and while I'm coming back down here to get another board and carrying it back up, the stupid thing is charging. And by the time I get back up there, it's back to full charge. Because I only used a little bit of electricity, gave it a minute to recharge, a couple minutes while it's getting the next board. Like all you have to do is just be sensible and not fight the system. Not fight your own system. Not fight nature. If you work with nature, solar power is freaking amazing. It's awesome. And sure, I don't want to go. If I really need to go somewhere in the middle of the night, it's going to be super annoying because I'm not going to be charging my boat as I'm driving. But, I have batteries, I can go for a while. But why would I need to go somewhere in the middle of the night besides a hospital? Okay, there might be certain circumstances possibly. But then I just run it off the batteries. But all I have to do is plan my life around when the sun's going to be out, which is the best time to do things anyway. Even when I was a kid, I used to spend a lot of time awake at night, but that was because, I didn't like people, and people were super annoying and irritating. My family was driving me nuts, so I'd always be awake at night. But, ever since living off grid, it just totally makes sense to be awake in the daytime and sleep when it's dark. Be awake for a little bit of the dark, but just work with the environment around you, and so many things come together and make sense and just work really well. Anyway, what else was I talking about? Yeah, it's just really cool to be able to be self-sufficient enough to do a lot of things without money. And it's going to be really awesome when I have enough food growing, because then it'll be like I could just be here and just never have to interact with the rest of the world at all. And the important part of that is never have to. Doesn't mean I can't or won't. But if I do, it's because I want to, I just think that's going to be a super cool thing when I have enough food growing that I don't have to interact with the world. Anytime I'm interacting with the rest of the world, it's because I want to. It's because I feel like it, because it seems like a good thing to do. So anyway, that's what's been going on around here. I'm feeling really physically good lately. My homestead, you have 9,800 watts of solar panels. That's awesome, man. And what do? You do all your high power stuff in the daytime when the sun's out, right? It's so simple. There were plenty of times when I was off grid, or when I was not off grid, when I was on a grid, and I'd be like, oh, it's 2 a.m. and I feel like getting out some power tools and doing stuff. But I didn't have to do that in the middle of the night. And all you have to do is just adjust your schedule to meet nature, not fight against it. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Glad to see you doing all right. Second floor looking good. Yeah, man, the second floor is, it's so cool being up there. I'm really excited for it to get done. Yeah, I still have some work, but it's going really, really well so far. In another day or two, I should have all the joists in, or pretty much all the joists in. And then I need to bring all the floorboards, and I'm just laying the floorboards. Well, you can see a couple of the floorboards up there. Yeah, these guys up here. They're not cut to the width yet because the wood needs to dry first. The joists, which are all the pieces going this way, that the floorboards sit on top of, all the joists, I'm not too worried about them being totally dry because they can shrink a little, it doesn't matter. But with the floorboards, I want to let them dry a little more because when they shrink, it's going to open up gaps between them. So I think I'm going to be fine with some gaps, but not a lot. So I'll just put the boards up there and let them dry for a while. Let's see. J-Man, really liked your adventure virtues video. Thanks, man. What's funny? Whenever I start talking about that stuff, I always get a lot of hate mail. It's really weird. Like to me, it's one of the signs that the world is really screwed up. Like you talk about like people having good values, like you should have good values and then be a good person and do good stuff. And then you get hate mail for it. Yeah, that's a bad sign, man. It's a really bad sign. But yeah, I want to do a whole bunch more adventure builder videos. I didn't talk about it for a while, just because I don't know. It's to me, it's like a really important thing. I kind of feel like I need to be in the right kind of mental space to talk about it. Let's see. How is everyone, Mr. Landfill? What's going on, man? I got the live from the beginning. How's it going, Kevin? Kevin Henson. I love your uncle's puppets. It's probably not your uncle, I know. Frederick, man, I haven't seen you for a while. It's been a while, yeah, since I got you live, but I never missed a video replay every live streams. You're always so motivating and positively productive. Much love. Well, thanks, man. I can't say I feel like I'm always being positively productive, but I do try. I do my best. Maybe I don't do my best. Maybe I could actually do better. Yeah, I think I could actually do better. Anyway, I'm doing pretty good. Lois K. Old man strength is no myth. Yeah, old guys. It's funny, people think that when you get old, you just start falling apart. And I think that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think that you're old, then you're old. And like I was saying, maybe I'm some genetic freak or whatever, but I don't think so. I think I'm just like the same pretty much physically as everyone else. And I have not felt that I'm getting old at all, and I can totally do all the stuff I've always been able to do. Let me think. Is there something? Well, I can't comb the top of my hair. Other than that, well, I could still comb it. There's a little bit up there. But other than that, like I can do all the stuff I've always been able to do, Actually, one thing that I'm like super excited about, I haven't really talked about this, because it's kind of like personal for me, and no one else will necessarily care, but maybe someone will care. So during the year when I was building my house, I didn't really run at all. I did a little bit of running, but mostly I was just kind of plodding along, carrying heavy stuff and just like going and just being exhausted and going. And when I got the house done, and sorry, not done, when I got it to the point that I could move in, obviously it's not done. I still have these floors up here. But when I got to the point where I was like, okay, now I can take a break and actually breathe. I was like, I got to start running again, because I always feel better when I run, on a regular basis. So I made the path around my house. There's just a concrete walkway. It's like maybe a meter or so wide and goes right around the outside of my house. And calculated it. If I remember, it was something like 38 laps around my house makes a mile or something. But anyway, I got that done. And then I started running around it every morning. And at first I was just doing a mile and then slowly worked up, but pretty quickly, like honestly, by the third day, my calves were just like knotting up, and I didn't make it through the whole first week even. And ever since then, I've been struggling to like rehab my calves because man, if you don't run for a while, and this same thing happened all those years ago when I got injured and couldn't run for 7 months, like same thing happened. But anyway, my calves just couldn't handle running. They could handle running 1 day and maybe 2 days, but by the third day it was like, whoa, we gotta rest. So anyway, I've been working on, stretching and doing like calf exercises and just all this stuff for like, I don't know, like the last year and a half, right? And kind of slowly making progress. And I would say in the last month, I'm feeling springy again, like bouncy. And not only on a good day, but like all the time, which is so nice to get back into, Like now I can run up the hill up to the lumber mill like actually springy, like I don't know, if you don't run, you might not know what I'm talking about. But like when you're real bouncy on your feet and you just run on the balls of your feet and you're real springy, and it's like it feels like it takes half as much energy to go the same speed. And you can go real fast, and then the jumping is good. And one of the exercises I've been doing lately that I think has helped a lot is jumping rope. So I've been jumping rope, and at first, it was funny. I started, I don't know, a few months ago. At first I could jump rope just normal, hopping on 2 feet. And that was kind of pushing it, a few minutes of that. And I was like, okay, I got to rest and let my calves, kind of like rest. But, I kept slowly working up to it. And now I'm doing, well, I'll get my jump rope and I'll do 100 jump ropes, and then do some push-ups, and then another 100, and then something else. But when I do, and I'll do that 10 times, so I'll end up doing like 1,000 jump ropes, right? But each time I do 100, I'll do 20 just like double foot hops, and then I'll do 20 hopping only on 1 foot, and then I'll do 20 just normal like double foot hops, and then 20 just hopping on the other foot, and then 20 normal ones again. And now I can do it like wearing my weight vest, which is like another 30 or 40 pounds. And, it doesn't feel like I'm pushing it. I can do it easily, which is great. Yeah, I'm getting all my springiness back, which is amazing. And honestly, when it like a year and a half ago, when I really strained my calves, the thought went through my head, oh crap, am I old now? Is that it? Am I old? And I think a lot of times we just give into that and think, yeah, I guess I'm old, and that's it. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, 100%. You give into it, you give into it. And if you don't, then you work through it and figure it out, and then you're good. Of course, eventually you're gonna die either way, but I think. All right, what was it? That was a pretty long tangent there. Lambo drives Zambo. Jaimie, too funny, another Adventure Builder Club member called me out on another unrelated live stream tied to my normal community, Adventure Builders Unite. 48 here too. Nice. Yeah, man, if we could, I still have the dream of having a whole bunch of adventure builders living around me. I've got like 1 or 2, but I just feel like a community of like 100 adventure builders all living in close proximity could just do amazing things. Especially like, with society and civilization kind of slowly crumbling. And of course, there's a chance maybe it'll halt and start coming back, but I don't know. It looks like things are going downhill. Like a group of adventure builders could maintain like a high quality of life and maintain a lot of like knowledge and technical expertise and stuff to to survive, that kind of gradual collapse, which, you kind of have if you want to bounce back. You do look phenomenally healthy. Well, thanks, man. It's funny. Someone commented that when I was doing a video recently, the Adventure Builder Values video, that my eyes looked dead. But that was because, I mentioned this last week. I was kind of having an allergic reaction to some, like tree sap. I don't even know. Do you call it an allergic reaction when it's like poison ivy? I think it's still an allergic reaction. Anyway, so my eyes were kind of puffy. Oh, by the way, I think I'm back to normal now. You can't really see because the light's not that much light now. But yeah, my face isn't swollen anymore, which is great. Looking good, Jay. You give this 43-year-old hope. Hey, man, don't think you're old when you're only 43. You're not old till you accept it, man. My plan is to go full speed right into the grave. I want to hit my coffin so hard I blow that thing to pieces. That would be great. Just splinters everywhere and like my skull and some arms flying around. That's it. Jaimie, men have only man strength until about, oh, shut up, 70, 75-ish. Then it just becomes not the same. Once you hit 50 and 60, Jaimie, you'll start laying down. Blah, 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 blah. Seriously, shut up. Oh my God, I just said how ridiculous it was that the whole time it's like people keep saying exactly what you're saying. Oh, you're gonna slow down. Yeah, just shut up. Ugh. Oh God, I can't stand that crap. Like what is your brain thinking when you're saying that? Like when you're telling someone, oh, you're gonna get old and fall apart. It's all downhill. Like what do you think that you're doing for the world in any pause? Like, do you think you're doing anything useful? Oh, I'm just, I got your interest in mind. I want to make sure it's coming and you're ready for it. No, you know what? You're just spreading garbage. Just take that and shove it up your ass, okay? That's the answer to that. Shove it up your ass. Like, don't spread that negative crap. There are enough obstacles, real obstacles to deal with without like people like you throwing like bullshit obstacles at people and just telling them they can't do stuff. So, man, turn it around. Grow up. Stop doing that. Jaimie, weird? No way. Urban legend. Oh, yeah. I know I'm weird. Jaimie, you are built like a tank, but also some things are not sustainable into all. Oh, shut up. No. Look, okay. Okay, that's why you have beautiful kids to help raise animals and make food and build buildings on the farm island. Okay, yeah, I want my kids to do all kinds of stuff, but that doesn't give me the excuse to say, oh, well, I'm old now. No, I fully plan to go full speed right into my coffin. And I want to put a hole in my grave. I want to hit it so hard. Yeah, don't just stop telling people that they're getting old and there's nothing you can do. Forget it, man. I gotta send you to talk to that David Goggins dude. I bet he has some good stuff. He's the same age as me, I'm pretty sure. And he's going 100%. Anyway, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Jaimie, your concrete dome house is epic. I suggest a coating of latex or epoxy poured over it to prevent leaking or cracking. So epoxy is going to be too expensive, but paint, I don't know. I've been thinking about that. The problem is if I paint the outside, that's it for concrete. Like I can't spackle more concrete on the outside, right? So I've been doing concrete. Well, I haven't done any in a while, but I'm halfway done making concrete tiles for the roof. And everywhere I've put the concrete tiles does not leak. So actually, it's funny, like I started at the end, so the second floor will have no drips on it. Because the whole outside, there are just some leaks kind of in the middle there. But yeah, In terms of painting the outside of it, I haven't done it yet because, yeah, like once I put paint on, that will be a barrier between the concrete and if I ever want to spackle more mortar or something on the outside. So I haven't done that yet. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing there. Um, the no hydrocarbons is amazing. The no hydrocarbons. What's the no hydrocarbons is amazing? The no hydrocarbons is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds amazing. Do you think a bandsaw mill would be better or keep is simple swing blade sawmill style? How big is the blade on your mill? Well, I like the swing blade mill. I've talked about this in a while. I guess I haven't mentioned it in a while. But a bandsaw, okay, for anyone who doesn't know, we're talking about a lumber mill, like a machine that will cut logs into boards. And a bandsaw lumber mill like has two wheels, right? And then a bandsaw that runs around it, like sort of like a tank tread that goes all the way around it, except it's a saw blade, right? And that's really nice because you can cut really wide. Like you can make or get these things really wide. So you can cut like a 2 or 3 foot, like you can cut like a meter wide cut. So you can cut big slabs, right? Which is amazing. The downside of that kind of mill though is the band saw, like the band saw, the teeth, you have to keep sharpening them because they're not carbide tipped. Maybe you can get carbide tipped ones, but I've never seen them. So you have to keep sharpening it, right? And then the other thing is if you don't sharpen it really well, it can give it a bit of a bias. So the blade will kind of start creeping up or down and it'll screw up your cut. And then the other thing is if it's not tensioned right, it can be problems. And if it's not, I mean, there are a bunch of things with a bandsaw where if everything is going perfectly, it's amazing. But there are a lot of little things that can get messed up, particularly if you're not using it for a while. Like if it's sitting there and you go do something else and come back and it's been sitting there for a few weeks or months or whatever, and you start running it and realize, oh no, things aren't aligned right, or it starts cutting crooked. And so there are some downsides to the bandsaw. Now, a swing mill blade uses a circular blade, and it's called a swing mill because you can swing the blade, to cut this way or to cut that way. So you can put your log there, and this is one of the advantages. Like with the bandsaw, if you want to cut boards, you have to put your log there, then you can cut. But to cut this side, you have to turn the log. And if you have a really big, heavy log, it can be kind of hard to move it around and get it lined up just right and whatever. But with a swing blade, you just put your log there and you cut this way, and then you cut that way, and you cut this way, and you cut that way, and you can do all 4 sides, or you can even put it at different angles or whatever. But you can cut all 4 sides without moving the log. And because it's a circular blade, you can get standard pretty easily carbide tips, which last a lot longer, don't need to be sharpened nearly as often as the bandsaw blades. And then, because it's a disc, like a solid disc, it's much less prone to wandering. Like the bandsaw, you've got this part stretched across that's moving, and it's got all this pressure on it, so it can start warping and getting bent. But the disc, it's like basically a solid disc. It's a lot harder to throw it off. It doesn't really get messed up in terms of going crooked or whatever. The limitation of the swing blade is that you can only cut like a little bit less than half the width of your blade. So my sawmill has a 12-inch blade, which is like 30 centimeters. So I can make a 5-inch cut, a little more, but like I can make a 5-inch cut. So the fattest, the widest boards I could cut with it would be 10 inches, because I could go down one side and then come back on the other side and cut 10. I might be able to get like 11 if I really pushed it. But like a 10-inch board is about the biggest, the widest thickness I could make, or widest wideness I can make, whatever. But I really like the circular blade style because it's a lot less prone to maintenance issues. Just because it's just a solid disc, it doesn't need tension or whatever. Like, I don't do anything to my lumber mill, and it'll sit there for months not being used, as it did before, I don't know, like last week or whatever when I started using it. And I just go up, turn on the switch, and then start cutting it. It just works right away. Don't have to tension anything or do any settings or adjustment or get anything lined up or anything. It's just it's just really easy to maintain, and that's particularly good in a situation where you're living off grid, where the lumber mill is not necessarily something that's going to get used all the time and constantly maintained. Because when I'm living off grid, I might have a bunch of wood to cut for a while, and then for like a couple months I'm doing something totally different, and the lumber mill is just sitting there. So I want something that has as little maintenance as possible. So wait, what was the whole question? How big? Yeah, the blade on it is 12 inches. And yeah, that's why I like it. Okay, most people say solar do not have solar. Yeah, a lot of people say don't have solar. It's kind of crazy. You should make a large battery bank mobile on a cart so you can move power from house to boat to whatever you need powered. Well, from house to boat, I don't need, because my house has power, the boat has power, but I do have 2 vehicles. Well, I guess all my boats have power, so I can move those to places and run things. But then also I have a little little bulldozer that has its own power supply, and then I have my kid's car, which doesn't have very big batteries, but I mean, it's got a solar panel on it. It's got some batteries. That's a mobile power supply too. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Landfill is saying solar does not work, right? Yeah, solar panels are amazing. What a cool invention. Like, you can have electricity anywhere the sun shines. That's such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing for anyone who wants freedom. Like before solar panels, I guess you could still have like a windmill somewhere or a stream generator or stuff, but that depends on like having the stream and being in a place where there's wind, and when there's no wind, blah blah. But like the sun is so reliable. Having solar panels is such a freeing thing. Like, every day you're going to get some amount of sun. Like, I've never had a day with no electricity. And it just makes it possible to do so many things when you're living in a place, like this, that's not in the city or anything. Oh, I couldn't believe how well it worked with even an underpowered solar array and an old bank of batteries. Kept my deep freeze running no problem. Yeah, you honestly should get a small gas motor to go to town for the hospital. Nah, I don't need it. The thing is, like, I can drive all the way to town in the dark in either of the boats that I use most of the time, just on the battery. So, if I was in an emergency, I could drive to the hospital just on batteries. But hopefully that won't happen. But yeah, I can definitely do it if I need to. And if I was in a situation where I really had to go somewhere in the dark and I didn't think I had enough batteries on my boat, I could just like steal the batteries out of my house, hook them up to the boat, or steal them from the other boat or whatever, and put everything on the boat. Like, if it was a real emergency situation, I had to go really far in the dark, I could do some crazy stuff. I can make it work. But yeah, the nearest hospital, the nearest like 4 hospitals I could get to in the dark on my boat. Let's see. Did you ever have any animals or pets? I don't think I've ever seen that from you. No pets. There was actually, what's it called? A hummingbird kind of like stuck in the window up there a little while ago. But, and that happens once in a while. Like every couple weeks, there will be a bird inside the house, because it's a huge house. There's tons of space up there. But they generally find their way out, in an hour or two. And I have not heard the hummingbird in a while, so I'm pretty sure it made its way out. There's always a way to get out of the roof. And then, during the day, the door is always open. And I had like a little family of iguanas here while I was working on my house, which was pretty cool, but they've since left. Yeah, I don't have any pets of my own pets, or any animals. I would like to at some point in the future, but I want to have more. I want to have more things done first. I'm not ready. I feel like I'm not ready for pets yet. What if your support, like the books written or patronage, disappears? Then what? Like the books written? Wait, what if your support, like the books written or patronage, disappears? Then what? Are you saying like, what if I don't make any more money on my videos that I'm making? I think that's what you're asking. Like the books written. I don't know what the books written means. Because I don't make any money off books and no one's writing books for me. But I do get money from, Patreon, the website, and I get some money from YouTube. Not very much though. And then occasionally people will send me donations like to PayPal or Bitcoin, or let me just turn a light on here. Oh, that's better. But yeah, if all that dried up, I would just make money doing something else. Probably my first idea in my head right now would be to make kayaks, because there are a lot of people around here who could use a kayak and would buy a kayak. I don't know. Other than that, like I would just figure something out. When I first moved off grid, whenever I needed money, I would do renovations, like house renovations. I had like a little, kind of renovation house. What's it called? Contractor. I had a little contractor business, and it was just a one-man show, just me. But that actually was a really good thing, because when you hire people, you end up spending like half your time getting them to do their job, and then you don't do anything. And I found it actually more productive to just not hire anyone, so that I could put 100% of my energy into just, doing whatever renovations I was working on. And then I could make more money doing that because I wasn't paying other people to like do half a job. Anyway, like whatever it is, like I'll do whatever I need to do to make whatever money I need to make. Although a huge part of what I'm doing here is making my life so I don't need money, or don't need much money. Like even now, I haven't calculated what my living expenses are, but it's pretty low, like compared to like the average North American, or even Central American. My living expenses are very low, because I don't need gasoline. There's other, like I don't have any rent or like internet. I have an internet bill. Other than that, food. And that's about it. Internet and food. I think that's my only bills. And I do grow some food, and I'm, kind of slowly growing more and more as I go. Let's see. Epic. I have 3,500 watts. Man, you can do a lot with 3,500 watts. I'm grid tied. My home entertainment system is grid tied. Yeah. I would hate to be grid tied. I mean, it's not. It's whatever you want, obviously. Thanks for the inspiration. I have been watching your videos for 12 years. Oh, man. I hope I haven't infected you with too much craziness. I've always done things my own way, the best way I know how. You taught me that it's okay and cool to try things a new way. It is okay to cool to try things a new way. And yeah, and one of the biggest reasons people don't try things is because they're afraid of failing or looking bad. But man, once you get past that whole thing, and you open yourself up to the idea that you can try things, and some things are going to work and some things aren't, man, you end up learning so much. And it's kind of crazy how many things end up working, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I never did that before. Why is no one doing this? And it's like, people are afraid it might not work. And then it's like you try and it's like, wow, this totally works, man. Anyway, running is so awesome. I did my first 10K yesterday and I feel so alive. Well done, you. Man, running is great. That's awesome. What was your time? I shouldn't ask you your time. What was your time? It was your first one. Probably not super great or anything. 100 is a good start, Mr. Landfill says. I know it as mango rash. All right, Michael Jackson here is talking about the allergic reaction I was having from like puffy eyes. And like I was itchy here. Oh, I'm not itchy here anymore. Oh, that's so nice. And my ears were itchy even. That was annoying. But yeah, mango trees are related to poison ivy, and it's not as bad as poison ivy, but it is itchy. And I have 2 giant mango trees back here, which is great when they're making mangoes, but otherwise they just oh, I don't know. Anyway. I'm old as hell, bro. That's awesome. Have you heard about the Mestastic off-grid network? It's getting big in the UK. Wait, the Mestastic. I don't know what that is. No, I guess I haven't heard of it. What if AI makes us immortal? I have no idea what I'm doing then. Well, the funny thing about becoming immortal is like we're already in a situation right now, like everything would have to change. Like things would have to change huge if people started living forever or even just living significantly longer. Because right now we're in a situation where birth rates have been declining for like the last 50 years or 70 years. I don't know, birth rates keep going down, right? Overall. And the way, well, I don't know about everywhere, but like definitely the United States and Canada, the way pensions work, like Social Security, is you put money away for your Social Security, but you're not getting that money back. The money you put away goes to the previous generation. So your Social Security is dependent on the next generation. And these generations keep shrinking. So it's like fewer people supporting more people and fewer people supporting more people. And if people start living longer, they're gonna need Social Security for longer. And oh yeah, that whole thing would just have to change. It would have to completely change. I am 56 and I'm about to take on the largest project of my life. Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful. I love hearing that. I wonder what he's doing. Kevin, what are you doing? Somehow saw that response coming. Man, what a great example of a beautiful human. Oh, is that me? Oh, thanks, man. I grew up in cattle country. Our favorite neighbor was still bareback, breaking wild horses in his 70s. Aha! I knew it! Now I've got anecdotal evidence, which of course I will take. I want to be like that guy, 70 years and just strutting around the jungle with no shirt on and just like busting out with my muscles and like doing stuff and like throwing women over my shoulder and dragging them home. Wait, no, that's caveman. How's it going? I'm unique. You're old as hell. That's great. Feel young as 22 though. David Goggins is a huge inspiration. Excellent. Buffering? Was I buffering? Sorry, man. I'm a little bit behind on the comments now. I'm sure. I don't know how far. So self-sufficiency and getting old. What is the short version? There is no short version. The short version was getting old is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So don't accept your oldness. Just do your thing, man. Don't worry about getting old. Just do your thing. And self-sufficiency is awesome. It's like when you don't have bills, I got bills, I gotta pay. You don't have bills constantly chomping at your butt. Man, it's so nice when you get self-sufficient enough that you're not feeling that bill collector coming up behind your head all the time. Or, okay, I missed something. Or don't take testo and live like a normal human being. Yeah, I don't take any of that testosterone stuff, you know. I don't know. Maybe that stuff is good for something, but I stay away from all that stuff. Um, Hello, Randy Neal. It's fine. It's life. Use it or lose it. What is a good natural herb for kidney stones? Oh, I have no idea. Does anyone know what is a good natural herb for kidney stones? Because Randy wants to know. Um, Damn, watch the bit about you saying you need to do physical activity to be young. So I'm just going to do 10 push-ups right now. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, I'll go. Hold on. I'm going to do them too. I'm not going to let you do them without me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay. Couldn't leave you doing those by yourself there, man. And sign up for a gym tomorrow. You know what? Forget the gym. You don't need a gym. How about this? Go run to the gym, look at the gym and say, ha, I didn't even have to spend the money. And then run home. And maybe every few minutes, every block or so, stop and do a few push-ups. You run and pass a tree, do a few chin-ups. You don't need a gym. Although, if the gym's going to motivate you, go for the gym. I'm not anti-gym. I'm just saying you don't need it. You can save yourself some money if you just do it yourself. Let's see. Do you know the EACC movement? I do not. I'm also terrible with acronyms. I shouldn't say I'm terrible with acronyms. I never use acronyms. I shouldn't say never. There might be odd occasions when I do. But I generally stay away from acronyms because they're always like a specialized thing. Like an acronym will be for some kind of specialized thing, and there would be the same acronym for some other specialization would be something totally different. And when people start talking in acronyms, it's often like to kind of confuse people. So you seem smarter than you are because they don't know what you're talking about. Or it's to, what's the word? Make things seem less important, like when you short form things. And this one isn't necessarily an acronym, but this is the one that drives me the most nuts in terms of short forming things to make them seem less important. Meds. Gotta go take your meds. Take your meds. Get a jab. All this stuff where it's like, this is serious stuff. Medicine is not something you should just be popping like without thinking about it. No, this is say the whole word. If you can't even say the whole word, you probably haven't thought about it enough. You probably shouldn't be taking those pills if you just popping some meds. Anyway, what were we talking about? It's a bit like, okay, the EACC movement. It's a bit like Silicon Valley version of your lifestyle. I see. I don't know anything about it. It's nothing compared to this guy truly living out his dream. Jaimie, I know you don't have mini engines, but have you ever considered building a gasifier? I have considered it, but yeah, I don't have anything that runs on gas. So yeah, I did make a thing that will produce methane eventually when I plug the leaks and stuff. I mean, I'm sure it produces methane now. I'm just not capturing it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with electric motors. I do want to build a steam-powered thing. And okay, the problem with a gasifier is it's like I'm burning something to capture the smoke, to run it through a filter, to run a motor that's like really complicated and needs an explosive gas. Or I could build a steam engine and just like put the fire right in the steam engine. It's like, it just seems like a lot less complicated. Like I understand the reasoning behind making a gasifier. I'm presuming the gasifier is the one where you burn wood and get wood gas and use that to run a combustion engine. Is that the gasifier we're talking about? I think that's what we're talking about. But anyway, that kind of thing makes sense because there are so many internal combustion engines around. And if gasoline becomes prohibitively expensive or too hard to get or whatever, then it would make sense to, build a gasifier, because then you can still use your tractor or your machine or your car or whatever. However, if you back up and say, okay, what am I going to get? A gas engine and then build a gasifier, or make a steam engine? Like the steam engine would be a much simpler thing. And I do want to build a steam engine. I actually have a few of the key parts, like kind of on a shelf over there. Whenever I see something, I'm like, ooh, that could be for the steam engine. I'll just put it on this little shelf. So there's just a few key parts there, and an idea in my head. But I'm not ready to do that yet. Got other stuff to do. Oh, chill fact. There are way too many muscular orc-looking bald men as it is. Just eat healthy, exercise, and your T levels will be good for you. Yeah, well, having no hair on your head is usually maybe I shouldn't say usually, but it is often a sign that you have lots of testosterone. So, I don't really mind losing my hair up there. Because, I think Jaimie has shown he doesn't need imaginary money to live and follow his dreams. He's bald, which is a sign of abundant amounts of testosterone. Hey, that's what I was just talking about. You should write a book or two. Well, I have written a couple little books, but probably not the kind of books you're thinking of. Just, I have kind of been thinking about writing like an adventure builder Bible, kind of. And it would be like part life story with all kinds of lessons and, adventure builder values and stuff, or something along those lines. And I feel like that's the kind of thing I'll do at some point, several years from now, when I have a lot more things finished and a little more breathing room. Because like right now, I get up and I'm just like going until it gets dark, or until I have to make food. I don't want to cook in the dark because I cook outside. But yeah, I've been working really hard. I guess I could write a book in the evenings, but I just don't have the energy or the time yet. That's something I need to do more in the future. How much does oops, okay, I think you typoed something there. Oh, didn't realize I was describing Jaimie. Anyway, that's just normal. I'm just saying, listen to your balls, don't take drugs. Take some drugs. I don't want to take any drugs, but I don't care if other people do. Hey, second the idea for a book. All right. What kind of, it would be interesting to hear from you guys. Like, what kind of book would you want me to write? Like when you say, Jaimie, you should write a book, like what kind of book are you talking about there, I second the idea of listening to your balls. Oh, Mr. Landfill, you're silly. The Metaversal Miscreant. Greetings, new here. How's it going, man? Oh, should I give a little introduction for people who are new here? Well, I'm Jaimie, and I like to invent things and do exercise, and I live on a little island out like off the coast of Panama on the Caribbean side, not the Pacific side. And yeah, I'm here, being self-sufficient, trying to grow food. I got a lot to learn there, but also building big buildings like the one I'm in right now, and making solar powered boats and lumber mills, and just using my invention interests to just make life work, and then getting lots of exercise in the process. Do you design your homestead to be more automated and designed to keep old age in mind as far as functionality and ease of use? No, I in fact do the opposite. I don't automate anything. And I shouldn't say I don't automate anything. I mean, like when I'm using my lumber mill, the blade is spinning automatically. I'm not sitting there turning it. But yeah, I guess the way I design my homestead is to be kind of like a playground. So for instance, I'm building a second floor, right? And the second floor, part of it is just a racetrack that's around. And then there's going to be little rooms all the way around. But then people keep asking me, well, how are you going to get up there? And how I'm going to get up there is like a stairway, a slide, a rope. There's already a climbing rope that goes all the way to the top, like the fourth floor top, a fire pole, a ladder, a cargo net. Like I want to have lots of different ways to get up and down. And then I will probably rarely use the stairs. At my old house in Vermont, there were 3 ways to get to the second floor. Well, no, there were like 4 ways to get to the second floor. Anyway, I didn't usually take the stairs. There was a rope you could climb up there. You could climb up the walls of the building, or there was like monkey bars. You could just climb up the monkey bars and then go up. And that's what I would usually do, because I figure if I do that just on a regular basis, I'm going to stay in good shape, you know? So I guess I designed my homestead to encourage activity. Yeah. But I don't have chores. Some random dude plows the snow outside my door. Oh, you know what you could do? If some random dude plows the snow outside your door, you could get your shovel and go out and beat him to it. And then when the guy shows up, just be like, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. And the guy's gonna be like, what happened here? I thought there'd be some snow. Anyway, to Randy, kidney stones. Apple cider vinegar, probably a shot a day. Oh, so if you need to get rid of kidney stones, drink apple cider vinegar. I see. I don't have any kidney stones that I'm aware of, but I'll try to remember that. Chill effect, run, jump, and most importantly, stretch. Yeah, man, stretching is super important. Particularly when you're doing like things you're not used to. So, I just started doing, well, I shouldn't say I just started, like in the last month, I've been doing a lot more like carrying things on my shoulders. Because before that, I was doing lots of lifting, but it was all like lifting things from down. But now I'm carrying things on my shoulders. So I made sure I stretched my back out and everything. But yeah, stretching, hugely important. When you're young or old, don't think because you're young, you don't need to stretch. And my kids have learned this kind of recently. Like, every once in a while, one of them will be like, well, my back kind of is sore here. And I'm like, well, let's do some stretching. And then, as time goes on, they're like, yeah, I don't feel that tightness in my back anymore. I think those stretches are really good. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know, but I think taking SSRIs, oh gosh, acronyms, since I was a teen, messed up my brain chemistry. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I always stayed away from any kind of drugs. They affect your brain. And to me, my brain is like my favorite part of my body. My body, I consider to be my most valuable possession, is this thing right here. And my brain, that's the brain of the whole operation, And drugs affect it, they can mess it up. Anyway, I don't know what SSRIs are, but I hope your brain isn't too messed up. Kidney stones, drink a lot more water and lemonade, I think. I actually have some lemon water right here from these lemons. I love these lemons. Aren't these lemons the best? Check out these lemons. Those are great. Oh, yeah. Where are we going? Okay. Jaimie, you were talking about getting old. I can see it now. 105-year-old Jaimie riding around his island on his aluminum solar-powered giant spider mobility scooter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a big robot with a walker on it. Oh yeah. No, I mean when I get toward the end of my life, there might be a point where I'm like, all right, now I just want to chill and just kind of watch the end. Just watch it for a little bit and then die. But I gotta be really close to the end, because I'm just gonna want to get up and do stuff, And people are going to say, no, don't do that. You're going to die of a heart attack. And I'll be like, that's the goal, man. I want to die running like 5-minute miles, baby. Oh, let's see. Mike says 60 people have been watching Jaimie for almost an hour. There are only 11 likes. WGF, click now. The likes aren't important. I care if you like it. That's great. Although even if you don't like it, just being here, because like one of the things that I think is super important that our civilization is kind of losing a lot is just the ability to disagree, you know, to be there for something you don't like and just experience that, you know. But hopefully everyone here does like what's going on here. That'd be great. You could combine both. Use the cooling section of the gasifier for the steam. Panels do near nothing in winter here. Where are you that solar panels do near nothing in the winter? Because I was in Vermont and I got lots of solar power in the winter. And I had my solar panels aiming like they were probably at an angle like this, because I was, you know, Vermont's pretty far north. And yeah, I got plenty of power in the winter. But yeah, it depends where you are. If you're in a place just with like no sun, then solar panels aren't going to be that useful, or maybe you just need twice as many. He was very fit for his age. I don't see him needing a mobility scooter. Well, when I'm 105, I might want to go faster than a human being can go. I might need a mobility scooter. You have a way with words. Write the book. What is the book? I want to know what kind of book are we talking about? Didn't you write a book about how the universe was made? Yeah. Well, no, it was called How Big is the Universe? I thought I saw something on TikTok about it. Oh, like someone had a small kid's book that was extremely well made. Well, I did make a book called, there's one right here. Hold on. Oh, let's see. This is a book I wrote. How Big is the Universe? And I think you can find this on my website for free. It's just got like stuff about the universe and, you know. Anyway, but what I want to know what the book is that you guys are talking about now. Where were you 40 years ago? Now I'm too old for what I've learned from you. Where were you 40 years ago? Oh, where was I 40 years ago? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Okay, here's something you could still use. Now I'm too old for what I've learned from you. Okay, I don't know how old you are, but at any point in life, you're gonna be at some kind of health level, right? And regardless of where it is, you can always aim to make it better. So if you might be like an Olympic athlete, you can still aim for better. You could be crippled, you can aim for better. Like whatever, you know, you could be morbidly obese, you could be too skinny, you know, anywhere, whatever your starting point is right now, you can do something to improve it. And maybe you get to a point where you're so old, all you can do is reduce the amount of degradation so you can keep some quality of life. But whatever it is, like there's something you can do to maximize the time you have while you're still alive. So I don't know how old you are or what your situation is, but you know, keep doing your best, man. Keep trying, keep plugging away. And I don't know that I would necessarily recommend this, but the way I think about it is I often say to myself, I would rather die than not be able to do things, you know, whatever I'm trying to do. That's often what I think when I pick up something heavy. I'm like, whoa, this is heavy. This is really heavy. And then I'll put it back down and be like, wait a minute. I don't want to be the person who can't do that. So I would rather die than not be able to lift it. And so far, I've always been fine, you know. You know, obviously, I don't do that too crazy. But yeah, man, I don't know. Anyway, awesome, man. I'm glad I'm here with you. Thanks, man. I feel like most of the Adventure Builders Bible material has been revealed in Jaimie's numerous videos and live streams. It would be neat to get a book of it, though. You know what would be cool? Would be, maybe I should do this at some point. Just ask you guys, like, what are the pieces of, what did you call it? Wait, what did you call it? Where is it? Mostly adventure. Yeah, what are the pieces of the Adventure Builders Bible material that I've talked about or mentioned or whatever in the past? Or like, what are the things you think should be in a book? Maybe I'll start writing notes and just keep it somewhere. And you know, it's probably the kind of thing that for like the next 5 years, I'll keep adding little notes to something. And at some point I'll be like, all right, I want to write this book, and I'll go through all these notes and I'll have all the things I need to make sure I include, you know? Yes, Mansell Memoirs. If you get near nothing from your panels, put in more panels. During gray days, I can get about 400 watts per hour. You mean watt hours per hour? I use 800. I can stretch until sun happens again. Yeah, you can always get some more panels. I'd be surprised if you were getting nothing, unless it's just like dark. Let's see, I just reloaded that. Okay. Lois says, write a book of encouragement and values to teach teens how to not waste their lives. That's something we definitely need. The sort of thing which would be a good gift for birthdays, graduations, and would get banned. It would be such a banned book. Oh my gosh, like that would, yeah. It would be like the banned list, you know, Hitler's memoirs and Jaimie's book of encouragement. Throw those in the fire. It's crazy, the stuff that's considered dangerous today, you know? Like even when I do these videos, you know, just encouraging people to be self-sufficient, that's so anti what's going on in the world today. I get some pushback from that. It's, you know, it's kind of weird. People need to hear your thoughts. Tell stories about your life and your life lessons like you do in your videos. I don't know. I finally made time to watch this stream. Well, thanks, Half-Eaten Loaf. Oh, I could go for some meatloaf right now. Man, I haven't had meatloaf in ages. Okay, they tell you your brain is broken. This might fix it. Take it for a couple months, see what happens. This is talking about when they give you drugs when you're a teenager. Yeah, man. Drugs are prescribed way too often. And, you know, it all comes down to money because people are trying to sell the drugs. So they're encouraging, you know, people to push them. So, yeah. But yeah, you should, particularly like when you're a teenager and you got all these weird hormones and you're kind of going crazy inside, you're going in all these different directions. Like you should at least wait until all of that stuff settles down and your rational mind can like take the forefront before taking any kind of, you know, mood stabilizers or any of that stuff that's going to affect your development. And especially like little kids. Like when I hear about little kids being given stuff because they can't sit still for 8 hours. Kids should not be able to sit still for 8 hours. Like it's normal. Don't medicate kids for being normal kids. Oh, it's insane how much drugs are just pumped into people now. Let's see. Thank you for touching on this subject again. Adventure Builders Unite. Call the book Jaimie's Dream. Okay, tell your story. I don't know how, but just tell everything that led here. So a little bit like my movie, but like more detailed is what you're saying. Because I did gloss over a lot of stuff in the Adventure Builder movie. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of lessons I could expand upon. I'd be interested in a book about recalibrating back to basic brain code. That would have to be a big part of it. And like I was saying, you know, I glossed over a lot of stuff in the Adventure Builder movie, and that's one of them, because that would be like a like a big old chapter in a book, or maybe multiple chapters. Um, yeah, the whole brain code and deprogramming everything that's been stuffed into your head, and yeah, there's a lot to go into there. Rex Clay says, "Thank you, Jaimie. You're welcome." Uh, I'm not sure for what you are thanking it. You're welcome. Or it could just be a small book of anecdotes. You're so brilliant. Oh, shucks. No one's going to watch a video I share somewhere, but if they hand them a book, they probably read it. You know, one book that I like a lot is, oh crap, what's it called? The Tao Te Ching, which is just a book of it's just a book full of little phrases that just like important bits of information. And I don't want to try to quote any right now because I haven't read it in a while, but yeah, it's just full of little quotes of just important stuff. Like tiny little phrases of super important stuff, you know? Life has changed for me. That's excellent, Mr. Landfall. Hopefully it's changed in a good way. I'd like some adventure builder material about how to convince self to be motivated and break out of passiveness. Okay. I could talk a little bit about that right now, but so one thing that really kills your motivation is living a life that you don't want. So when I think about like the first 20 years of my life, you know, growing up in the suburbs, doing kind of the normal everything stuff everyone else did, or at least being in that world, it was very frustrating. It was hard to get motivated compared to now. Like I wake up before the sun and I'm like, hey, come on, man, let's go. Like it's way easier to be motivated now. But still, even now, I'll still have days where I'm feeling sluggish and worn out or whatever, and just not motivated, or maybe I've just dealt with some difficult people and I'm just like, what is the point, you know? But back in the day when I was living in the burbs, that was a constant thing for me. So I made up this thing called the dragon, and it would drag me out of bed. It was just like, I mean, obviously it wasn't a physical dragon. I would just think, you know, in the morning, I would just lay in bed thinking, oh, I got to drag myself out of bed, or I'm just going to like waste life here, just laying here. Like, ugh. And I would think, you know, one day I'm going to die. This is one thing that gives me a lot of motivation whenever I get stuck. One day I'm going to die, and I'm going to have to look back on my life, and I'm going to look back at right now, and what would I wish I was doing right now? Well, now I'm here. Now I have the chance to do it right now. So do it, you know? And then I'd be thinking like, okay, I got to drag myself out of bed. Let's get some kind of dragon. I would just imagine some dragon inside myself that like goes, and it's sort of like the part of me that's just trying to lay there is just getting dragged like a puppet out of bed and starts doing things. Like I used to get up every morning and go running at like 5 a.m, and that was really, really, really hard for a while. But I would just get this dragon to start just dragging me out, and you know, by the time I get to like 2 or 3 miles into the run, you know, I kind of like the guy who wanted to lay in bed, he's just kind of woke up and he's like, okay, now we're going. But like that initial part, it can be really hard to motivate yourself to get going. And I would I made up this dragon that would drag me. And that's why I ended up being called the dragon, because it would drag me out of bed. Yeah. I hear a bird in the back. Is it an island resident or a visitor? me think. I'm not sure actually. I mean, the bird you were hearing there, it's a bird I hear regularly. It's like often here, but I don't know if it's always here. Some of the birds around here, like they'll go one place during the day and then go another place during the night. I just heard it again. There's this little mangrove island, like, I don't know, maybe 150 meters from me, right over there. And it's not even any land. It's just like a little clump. Maybe, I don't know, I could throw a rock over it pretty easily. It's just this little clump of mangroves. And every evening, there are like 200 cranes or some kind of crane-ish bird, like, tall birds, long legs, long neck, real pretty. And half of them are gray and half of them are white. I don't know which are the boys and which are the girls, but I'm presuming the color is a gender thing. But yeah, it's just covered in those. And whenever we drive back, like whenever we're driving to my island from somewhere and I have the kids on the boat, we'll always drive right beside that little island. And the birds they all fly up and they do a big circle, and then we drive past, and then when we're past, they come back and like all land back on the thing. And it's pretty fun. The kids always have a laugh out of it. And then, but there are a lot of birds around here there's this one kind of bird that makes this snorting sound, like they sound like pigs. Like people who've been on this island are like, do you have pigs here? Where are the pigs? They're like, oh no, those are the pig birds. And I think they're actually, oh crap, what are they called? Oh, I don't remember what they're called now because we always just call them pig birds. I did at some point know what they were called, but they're just pig birds. But those guys are always here, and they're hilarious because they just. All right. Wait. Make a book where every page is a bit of Jaimie wisdom. When a reader thumbs through it, the page they land on is the most appropriate wisdom for your situation. Could you build a spiral ramp along your walls up to the second floor? Why, yes, I could. Or will you build stairs? It could be like a roller coaster or the way down for the kiddos. Okay, so I want to do a slide from the second floor down, but it won't be right against the outer wall because that's right under the floor. And the floor goes all the way around the outside. So in the middle part of the house, it's too dark to see now, there's a big hole, a big opening. And I want to have a slide that curls down. And I was thinking I should have it keep going up right up to the third floor. So you can go up to the third floor and you get in the slide all the way down, which of course would be super fun. And then, there's going to be rope climbs and, different ways to get up, fire poles and stuff. Is that any way I think you mean is there any way you can rig up a bunch of lights only for your live videos? I think you would get a bunch of comments in chat on good lighting. I mean, if you're here for the lighting, you're in the wrong place, man. But yeah, I mean, I could set up lights. The thing is, like, everything here is under construction, so I don't want to like set up some big thing that I'm just gonna have to end up tearing down in 2 weeks because I'm like changing things. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's doing some better lighting would be good. One of the things that's terrible about videoing inside my house is that anywhere you go, there's a window behind me because it's a round house and there are windows all the way around. So there's always a glare behind my head. So yeah, it's terrible lighting in here, except when I'm right here. Like this is like the only spot where the lighting is kind of okay. It's actually decent. Obviously right now it's just nighttime and dark, but in the daytime, the light will come in here and I'm not backlit because there's a wall right here. But it's like one of the only places I'm not backlit. Let's see. Oh, is it a bird or Sasquatch making bird sounds? It might be a Sasquatch. I wonder if she's cute. Oh, anyway. Chinese calendar says it's the year of dragon. Excellent. Clearly a squatch. Usually the more attractive birds are male, I think. Yeah, I think the more attractive birds are usually male. The pelicans are enormous, by the way. They're huge. Anyway, there are two kind of pelicans. The kind of gray, dingy looking ones, and then there's these whitish, well, they're white and orange and black. There's, colorful pelicans. I'm pretty sure the colorful ones are the boys. And they're much more territorial too. If I'm driving by one of the pretty pelicans, it always flies away and comes back to its spot. But I'll drive right beside the dingy gray ones, and they're just like, I don't care. Let's see. Hey, Jaimie, thanks for your email the other day. Okay, definitely glad I am starting the self-sufficiency thing pretty early, but wow, so much work all the time. Yeah, it is. One of my friends said to me once, I never realized that living off grid would entail so much digging. Yeah, so much digging. Oh my God, so much digging. I mean, you could do it without digging, but like there's so many things you can do when you dig. Hey, Jaimie. Oh, I read that. The double-crested cormorant makes deep guttural grunts that sound a bit like an oinking pig. Oh, cormorant. Is it a cormorant? I don't think it's a cormorant, but it might be. I'd have to double check. I can't remember what it is now. Thanks, Jaimie. Something resonates with the dragon dragging me on. Yeah. Jaimie, you are a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for sharing. That's funny because I feel like I don't know anything. Slides will be awesome. Okay, about the book. Folks want to be told. Folks want to be told how to live. Do they? Maybe. Your content is amazing. The lighting is not so important. Well, thank you. Yeah, kind of one of the points of, well, I mean, I'm just going to be totally honest here, which I generally am anyway. I don't want my videos to be too nice looking, because then I get views from people who are not so nice on the inside, But if people come and they see my video and the lighting isn't quite perfect and they stick around, they're sticking around because of the content of what I'm saying or doing. But if people are here just for the way it looks, there are like a million other things they can watch. And I don't have to hear them griping about how I'm doing something wrong and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, BK broiler. Oh man, I could go for a burger right now. That sounds delicious. I've actually got dinner sitting right there. I started doing this live while it was cooling off. So it's been an hour and a half. I'm pretty sure my dinner's cooled off. Anyway, it's just fun hanging out with Jaimie. Excellent. Yeah, pigs like to eat snakes, bears, wolves, dragons. Last of all, frog legs. You always say that. I do always say, well, every time I see your name, BK Broiler, I'm just like, oh, Whopper. Many years ago, I went on a trip with my track and field team at university, and we got per diem. We got some money every day to eat, and I was so broke at that point, like I wasn't even buying books for classes or anything. Luckily, I was very good at taking tests, so I got away with it. But I kept as much as that per diem as I could. And the thing is, I ate an insane amount of food. And where we were on this trip, it was in Florida for spring break. I think we might have been, I don't know, we were there for a week or two. But anyway, right across the street from where we were staying was a Burger King, and they were having a 99-cent Whopper deal. So man, I ate a lot of those. It was like a ton of calories for 99 cents. That was great. Anyway, all right. I'm just here for the muscles. All right, I'm gonna go feed my muscles. I think I've probably yammered on long enough. And I hope you guys have an excellent evening or morning. Or isn't it cool that on the internet you can talk to people everywhere on the planet? You can even talk to people in outer space. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here and go eat my dinner and see if I can be useful and think about what I'm going to do on this floor tomorrow And I'm just going to shut up and get back to work. And I hope Big Lizard. All right, Big Lizard. What is that name, Big Lizard? Are you being immodest? All right, I'm going to shut up and get out of here. All right, everyone have a great night. Oh.